Hello, Abigail here with Tarotscopes for Cancer season, Taurus sun, moon, and rising. My Taurus folks, we are finally in Cancer season with some of the best astrology of 2025. We do have a really nice new moon in Cancer. Um, Also, I've done an astrology video about this. This is the companion video to all of this, the astrology of or for Cancer season. I can never remember what I put. But yeah, and interestingly enough, it's kind of really spotty across the board how each sign is going to be experiencing this kind of energy. Some of the energy is really positive, and some of it is a lot of kind of having to deal with some struggle and really process stuff. Fun fact for you, the Taurus part of your chart is feeling really good. So that's a bright side. If you do look at other Tarotscopes, there are some that are a little more rough. Just know that this is kind of like on theme to whatever house this falls in. Um, and difficult isn't bad. It just means that we have some stuff to process and work through, which makes sense considering, the squares we're going to be getting with Saturn, and we're already starting to get with Saturn, and also Uranus going into Gemini. These are really big shifts that kind of kind of throw off what might be considered generally benefic. But yeah, and your Oracle card, I think is really great. And it's very actually kind of Taurian, which I love. Power and might. Be free from judgment. This is the season for you to just say to hell with it, to be honest. Who cares what people think, what people's expectations are of you, what they think you should be doing? I think a lot of the lesson of Taurus is to not only resource what is in Taurus for you, you have to resource other places. And a part of that is finding freedom in different parts of your chart, like going to Gemini or digging into Scorpio or, jumping headfirst uh, into Aries or any of the other signs to really resource yourself. So, really view this whole season as the entirety of your 360-degree natal chart and tap into the places where you find freedom. And yeah, some of us do find freedom in Taurus. I have a ninth house sun. There's a lot more freedom there than, let's say, a Taurus who has a sixth house sun. So finding the freedom where you can and not only kind of making Taurus carry a lot of that load, especially if it's your sun. But even then, your moon, I know a lot of Taurus moons that Taurus moon is doing a lot of work. So outsourcing, and also I think releasing yourself from expectations and beliefs about self. And a lot of Tauruses I know seem really confident on the surface and then are really down on themselves in private. And kind of struggle with that balance between courage and recognizing the places where we're tender and soft, and that's okay. And I'm speaking to you as a Taurus sun. So allowing yourself freedom and allowing yourself freedom through strength, freedom through power, freedom through activating the parts of yourself that are, you know, really good at what they do. And the parts that aren't good at what you do, resource them to some other part of your chart. All of us have skills that, sometimes work in some spaces and sometimes don't. I'm autistic. I have massive skills gaps where I'm just not good at some stuff, and I never will be, and that's okay. But it's about knowing how to navigate that and not guilt or pressure ourselves into being, feeling like we aren't strong enough because we're not good at everything. No one's good at everything. And we do start off with a really lovely card. This has been popping up. The King and the Queen of Coins or Pentacles have been popping up all over my readings. This is a really beautiful Queen of Coins. I'm pretty for sure. So I tend to read. I use decks twice in when I do the 12 card readings, and I'm pretty for sure she came up in the other zodiac sign I read. But yeah, this is about abundance and about enjoying what you have and really seeing yourself as a fruitful, successful, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning goddess queen. In the very non-gendered sense, you can identify as whatever and still feel this kind of rich, fertile abundance that the Queen of Coins brings to all of us. There's a lot to be recognized in, there's a lot to understand, and to really, really see ourselves the way other people see us, to really get the perspective of an outside person and be like, wow, I'm really wonderful and great, and I bring really good things into other people's lives. And I know how to create abundance, and I know how to give people what they enjoy, and that is a gift to have. Can it become toxic if you're not careful? Yes. But that's not what we're focusing on. There's a lot of abundance and beauty and joy in this card. And I think Cancer season is going to be recognizing these places where we are rich and fertile and abundant. I think this is also about caring for your body. We don't do summer bodies around here. We do well fed, well loved, abundant snack bodies. So do not force yourself to do anything physical that restricts you this season. Really just enjoy what you have, eat the chip, drink the drink, have a good time, and really dig into the abundant nurture side of Cancer, that giving, that kind of oceanic feel of like perpetual growth and care and life giving energy. You contain all of that, my Taurus folks. And then we have the Page of Swords, which reminds me that we do have a Mercury retrograde at the end of the season. And while they can be really gnarly, I'm Mercury ruled. It's rough over here when Mercury is retrograde. But within the difficulties of Mercury retrogrades, there's tons of information and messages and the ability to see things for as they truly are. So keep an eye peeled with this Page of Swords. Also know that you can change your mind at any time and be valid. You don't have to do things the way you've always done them. You can change plans. You can stay home instead of going out. You can do something spontaneous. You can not do something spontaneous. The Page of Swords is really about following that instinct and intuition and doing what you want, and really believing in your ability to do what you want and have what you want and be filled and full and, really abundant and happy, but also quick moving and perceptive and funny and smart. It really feels like Cancer season for my Taurus folks is just about being you. It's really about being you in the entirety of your chart. It's about accepting the parts of self that maybe, we've had to repress or people have told us are too much. It's about being decadent and hedonistic and joyful, and the world sucks right now, and the world has always kind of sucked. But it doesn't mean that we don't get to enjoy life. It doesn't mean that we can't have fun. It doesn't mean that we can't make people laugh. And I think this page here is funny and clever and silly, goofy. Also, with the page, pick up a hobby, do something fun and interesting. I'm going to be building terrariums this Cancer season. Find something that brings you joy. I kind of actually do a couple of hobbies every summer, much to the regret of my bank account. But do something joyful and fun and playful, and maybe something even abundant, like plants or things that grow, or some kind of hobby that is about building and creating something that's really fun and unique. And part of that is because we have an Ace of Wands. There's a lot of newness coming in Cancer season, new ideas, new dreams, new desires, new parts of self. I love how this wand is a calligraphy brush. We're writing a new story. We get to tell new things about ourselves. We don't have to live in the past. And I think that square with Saturn and Jupiter is really asking us, who are we? Who are we within the context of the life we have lived so far? And what parts of self are truly us and what parts of self are like survival mechanisms. And now sometimes, if you're like me and you've been through a lot of trauma, those things can become the same thing. But it doesn't mean that you are any less valuable because you have a massive amount of coping mechanisms to survive. And you can tell yourself a new story about your experiences anytime you want. And I'm not talking about minimizing them or acting like they don't matter or pretending that everything that happened was for the better. But it is about taking that power back, power and might, like our Oracle card, and really deciding who you are now and who you get to be. And maybe you get to get revenge on someone. Maybe you put a hot foot spell on them. Maybe you do something for yourself, but you get to pick your passions this season and you get to find the things that really set you on fire and really help you progress and move forward, because I really feel like there's something in this Cancer season that is kind of a missing piece that really brings a lot of your experiences together. Um, and with that, you get to tell new stories and you get to create new things and participate in ways you've never participated before. And part of the reason I say that is because this is bookended by the King of Coins. So we have the Queen of Coins at the beginning of this reading. We have the King of Coins. My Taurus people, be all of yourself. Be every bit of it. One of the things that Taurus is really good at is survival. And one of the coping mechanisms and kind of sticking points that Taurus can get stuck in is living in survival all the time. Um, if you are still in a situation where you need to survive, keep doing it. You're going to make it. And if you are in a situation where you have made it out on the other side, you now get to be in places where you thrive. You don't have to survive all the time. And that's what I feel like the integration of these two cards is this internal nurture and this tenderness and fierce self-love, and then this external power and the ability to really step out and do and claim what you want. I also think a lot of the stuff that you do physically on an external level is going to be really blessed. So, tap into that new and full moon. The new moon's really benefic for getting long lasting, really solidly sticking plans of projects off the ground. And, the full moon in Capricorn, while, it is in detriment, you can get a lot of stuff done during detriment things, and a lot of hard things are much easier to do in detriment moments. Detriment fallen placements know how to handle difficulty, know how to deal with survival and pain and the struggle. So when we activate them, we've got a fighter on our side. So really dig into the new and full moon. The new moon, think of all the wonderful magical things that you want and deserve and believe in. And the full moon, release anything that is no longer in service of you, that no longer brings you joy, that just isn't you anymore. And, you don't have to say goodbye to them and like, ugh, gross, I'm done with you. You can be really gentle and loving to the things that you're letting go. Thank them for their time. Thank them for how they have cared for you. And then say, hey, I'm at a different stage in life. I don't need to survive in this way anymore. And that's valid. And last but not least, we adore this. We got a Nine of Cups, which always brings me so much joy. There's so much abundance for that Taurus part of your chart in this season. And whatever's happening anywhere else, I really want you to enjoy this. The lightness. I also love that in this Nine of Cups, it is a sharing card. Nothing wrong with the Nine of Cups when, it's not a sharing card and it's one person, but I really love this kind of idea of, sharing all the bounty with someone you really love and care about, and being able to participate and show them the joy and the beauty and the happiness that they and you can create together in this world. And, maybe this person you're sharing it with is your cat. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your community, but it feels like you're going to have so many beautiful, wonderful things happening this season, that you're going to need to share it, because it's just so much that it's more than you could ever possibly need. So yeah, a lot of beauty and abundance coming this season, and a lot of that is going to stem from you not giving an F about what other people believe of you not caring what other people's stories are about you, of you not listening to other people's myths and legends about who you are and who you will become. I was in music, and so many teachers would say horrible things to students about their potential. If anyone has ever told you that you cannot achieve something, whether you've achieved it or not, they were wrong. You can do whatever the hell you want, whenever you want. So take that with you into this Cancer season. As always, please like and subscribe if you like my stuff. Comment, participate in the comment section. I love to chit chat. You can find me under the Keen Wedge anywhere else. But yeah, have a really blessed cancel season. LOL. A really blessed Cancer season. If you can't tell, I'm in a lot of pain today. Really blessed Cancer season, and I will see you in a different space and time.